Okay, so we have this here radio, and we endeavor to power it up on battery. I had purchased this battery here with the intention of installing it. This calls for a VS057 or an Everready 756. I thought this was a cross-reference. Electrically, it is, but the dimensions are too big to fit into this radio. So we're just going to stuff a couple of cells in there just for the purpose of showing that it does work while I'm trying to get my hands on one of these. A few of them just recently sold on eBay. So I've got to find another one so I can get it in there. But we're gonna power this thing up on batteries anyhow. So hang tight and I'll show you what we're gonna do. Now, even though my batteries will physically fit inside this radio, this one somebody replaced the cord at some point in time, and for the batteries to be used, this cord has to be plugged in here. There is a contact that needs to be closed to make batteries a possibility. In addition, there is also an interlock there that isolates the batteries from the cord when you do this. But when I plug that in, you can't close the case because the original cord was a lot smaller than that. So we're going to have to leave the cover open even when we do our test, unfortunately. But I will show you that it is running on batteries when we're done. And then once I know that it's working, I only play these on batteries. I can cut this cord down, modify it, do something to get the interlock to work. But anyway, for now, we are just going to sit here and show you what we do. Okay, so I plugged this in just for the purpose. This battery's stone cold dead. I haven't tested it, but I know that to be a fact because of its age. I don't have to test it to know. But I put this in here so I can identify the B plus and the A plus. So the 9 volt, it's actually 7.5 on this radio. That's not the right battery, but the lower voltage is going to come in on the red, and the higher voltage is going to come in on the dark blue, and there's a common ground. So we'll show you. I previously built this. It's 5 AA's soldered together in series, and it shows good on my 7.5 volt scale on here, and that's what we're going to use for the low power side. For the high side, I'm going to snap together 10 9-volt batteries. Now, for those of you sitting there saying, whoa, wait a minute, you can't use different types of batteries together. Well, first of all, they're all carbon zinc, so they are technically the same type. But when you're working with series rather than parallel, and I got to tell you, paralleling batteries is a bad idea anyway, even if they're the same brand type and came out of the same package, because it's always one that has a different initial surface charge than the other, which means one's going to be trying to charge the other one at all times. But when you're going in a series loop, it is not as important. And this is very low amperage, so it'll work out just fine. Even if one of these batteries has slightly less voltage than the others, it will not try to charge through the circuit and try to charge the lower one. It will not. Not enough current flows through to even do that. It's very low current. Okay. So each one of these is a battery with 6 cells. So we use batteries to make a battery. And we have a 90 volt battery made out of 9 volt batteries. In there are 5 AA cells. So each one of those technically isn't a battery. But we created a battery. We made a 7.5 volt battery by linking 7 cells. That is a battery because there's more than one cell in it. So just so we are clear on terminology, a single cell like an AA or a D cell is not a battery. It's actually a cell. They become a battery when you link them together, more than one. Using color-coded wires, I ensure that I have the connections correct. Red to red, red is the low voltage, and the plate is going to be on that darker wire there. Okay, our batteries are hooked up. Our cord is not connected. Let's turn it on. And we got nothing. We got nothing. Okay, let's see why. Okay, flipping the cord over gave us. It's playing. The volume is low.
Unless they know they will reduce compute. I'm a little wobbly. Look at this. This chair isn't. That's what it is. I'll switch to the other chair. Thank you. A little wobbly. What the hell happened?
Let's try something. Maybe it is my box. Watch out, guys. Watch out. See? Negative. Positive.
To a point where
well, I hooked up a 9 volt in its place. Maybe it was 9 volt and not 7.5. We've got some volume now. We didn't have any good volume before. So it's actually a 9 volt that goes in there, not a 7.5. But there we go.
42-year-old Shamsu Denjabar, racer next year.
Yeah. Okay, we got it working a little better now. We're in a week 2. And we changed that week 2.
All right.
We're completely on battery.
When a president is leaving,
as you can see,
donations come in for the president.
Cord is not connected to anything.
Millions and millions and millions and millions. Well, apparently, nobody is giving Joe Biden any money for that.
So there we go.
Now, when he leaves office, he's
batteries.
At home in a chair with a blanket
no
on,
cord.
Trying to watch Matlock. So he's not going anywhere.
That's where we like to play him.
Any money for that? Let's go. Say to him. Good morning, Mark.
It's working fairly well now.
In the Carter interview about talking about the length of the presidential campaign, I feel the same way about the inauguration.
It's working pretty good.
I don't know why it's 2 months away.
And there you have it. Another survivor working on batteries. Just wanted to illustrate that you can do these things. You can make these old radios play portably.
He knows what he's doing. In fact, this will be a much different presidency. Because the last time around, he didn't know anybody in Washington. He didn't know anybody in the swamp. So he didn't have